In this video, I'm going to walk you through a brutal truth about posting content that your ego probably doesn't want to hear. So if you're a sensitive little sausage, then I probably wouldn't watch this video. All right, are you ready for it? Posting information-based content, which is educational content, isn't going to help you get more clients online. Now, before you get all like, but, Josh, with me, let me explain why I believe this is the case. See, as coaches, a lot of the time we think the gap between our clients being successful and where they are right now, the gap in between that, a lot of the time we think this gap is information. We think that the problem with our clients not being successful is they don't have the right information, which is definitely the case only a small amount of the time. But most of the time, what your clients actually need is implementation, accountability, and support. Your clients, they don't generally need more information, because let's be honest, all of the information is already out there on the internet. If you jumped on Google and you searched how to lose weight, there's going to be 1.2 gazillion different posts and websites on how to lose weight. If someone needs to figure out how to squat better or how much protein they need, literally go on Google, how much protein should I eat? And you'll be able to work it out yourself. So if information is the very thing that your prospects are missing, then why are more and more people getting fatter every year? And why are there less and less people that are in shape? It's not the fact that there's not enough information out there. All of the information is already out there on the internet. And guess what? It's all out there for free. I'm sure if you went on YouTube, you could work out a 12-week fat loss program. You could work out some mindset transformation program for somebody to go through as a coach themselves, without even needing you. So if that's the case, if all the information is out there already on the internet, then it brings it back to well, why aren't people successful with their goals? Why aren't more people moving forward? Why aren't there less fat people on the earth? Well, think about it this way. They don't have implementation. They don't have accountability. They don't have support. They have the information, but they just don't implement. There is a small amount of people, very small amount of people, that do just need information, and then they'll go and do it. These are generally the clients that you love working with, because you just teach them a few things and then they go and fucking do it, and you're like, what the hell? This was amazing. But the ones that actually need the push, the ones that need the accountability and the support, they're the ones that generally don't need more information. So if you then think about this, it's like, okay, well, all I ever do is post information on my social media. What do I do now then, Josh? That begs the bigger question. But instead of it being about you, let's make it about your prospect. So if you think about it, they are looking for help. They need help ultimately. Here's you trying to post information-based content, which isn't bad if it's not everything that you do. I'm not throwing shit on education-based content. I think you do need to do it, but only a small amount of the time. Instead, your prospects, they think they might be looking for more information, but who they're actually looking for, it's not what, it's who are they actually looking for, is someone that they can connect with on a deeper level. Someone they feel like they can trust. They want to find a coach that they actually resonate with online. Because if you think about it this way, if there are 10 of you all lined up, all coaches, all online, you all just post information, who's going to be able to decide which one is the best one to go with? Well, I'm going to choose that person there because they have, brunette hair and brown eyes, because that's what I have, or whatever it is. Those are the decisions your prospects end up making, which is what you don't want them to do. So with your content, yes, it is good to post educational content. You do need to position yourself as the expert. But if you only ever post expert-based content, you become very fucking boring in the process. People want to see that you know your shit, but generally when they land on your page, they're going to know that you know your shit just based on the stuff that you already post, because naturally as coaches, we default to education content because we think the gap is information. But instead, what you need to start doing with your content is posting more about you. What are your values? What are your hobbies? Do you like cats? Do you like dogs? Do you usually drink long black coffees or vanilla almond lattes? People want to get more insights into what your life looks like, who you are as a person, what hobbies you have, what your backstory is, what your far past story is. There is so much more that you can talk about online to create connections with people. If people see that you were also 30 kilos overweight, and they're 30 kilos overweight, who do you think they're going to choose? The skinny guy who's talking about weight loss that was never overweight, or the person who is open and honest about the story and the struggles they had when they were once 30 kilos overweight? Of course they're going to go with this person because it's the same kind of person. because people will always gravitate to the same kind of people. And this doesn't mean that you need to have some crazy backstory to attract clients. You definitely don't. But coincidentally, I attract a lot of people into my world who have tattoos, who have short hair, who speak like me, who are very upfront, who are very direct, because that's who I am as a person. And that's how I position myself online, because I'm being my real authentic self. And I'm not just posting expert-based content. Like, yeah, I do a little bit of that stuff, go through my stuff and you'll see it, but I also post about how I love traveling. I also post about my dog, Tupac, the French Bulldog that I have. I also post the coffees that I get. I also post myself out in the sun. I post a lot of things that have nothing to do with coaching, but by doing this, now what I'm doing is I'm creating trust and connection with people on a deeper level. And if you can apply the same principles to your content, this is how you're going to stand out and ultimately not just be the expert guy who is just fucking boring. Like, let's be honest, like the person that only has education-based content and like exercise tutorials and how to calculate your macros and stuff like that, boring as hell. Every other coach out there does that. But hey, if I land on someone else's page and I see that they live like a cool life and, you know, they have dogs and their values align with me and whatever else it is, I'm like, wow, I can see myself getting along with this person. I can see myself going to the coffee shop and having a coffee with this person. And this is exactly what you want your prospects to feel when they land on your content. So if you can start sharing more personal experiences, more personal stories, and more insights into your life, you're ultimately going to create more connections with your audience and then ultimately get more clients. Plus, you also position yourself as someone that's a little bit different to the rest. A lot of the time, if you're just posting education content, it's just like a competition of like who's the smartest and everyone's trying to be better than one another instead of just trying to be different. Being different, you'll stand out. If you're trying to do everything the same as everyone else and try and be better and try and be the smarter one and reference studies and shit like that no one cares about, you're just in a competition with other coaches. You're not actually creating connections with people. Like, if I think about it this way, with the Freedom Coach formula, which is my coaching business, every single client that I have in that business is obsessed with freedom, is obsessed with traveling, loves optimizing their lifestyle, and want to make good money, but they don't really care about being gazillionaires. Instead, they want a life of freedom and fun and fulfillment. And it's like, no shit, of course, because that's the same sort of things I post about with my content. Yeah, I position myself as the expert, but I also talk about all the things that I value. So I attract people into my world like that as well. Because like, think about it this way, you can go on Google and you can get information and you can post it. Anyone can do that. Even if you are an idiot and you've just started or whatever it is, like you can go and just copy information. You can use bloody, wank GPT, whatever it is, chat GPT of course, but you can use that, create your content, and now all of a sudden you're posting expert stuff. But no one can live and copy your life. No one can do the things you do. Exactly. No one has lived your exact past. No one has, the exact same wants and needs and desires as you. So this is how you can really start to stand out. So start to share more of this. And so if you wanted to take things a little bit deeper, there are 5 kind of core areas you can talk about with your content. The first is your far past. So this is going way back in time, like right back when maybe you were really overweight or when you were really skinny or before you jumped out of the career into the thing you genuinely wanted to do. Go back like 10, 15 years, go far back, like far, far, far back. The second thing is then recent past. So this is stuff that's happened in like the last couple of years. Then the third thing that you can be talking about with your content is recent and current events. So things that are happening in your life right now. The fourth is then trending. So this is stuff that is happening out there in the world right now. Personally, I don't like to post much trending based content because I feel like for me personally, and this is just one of my values, is I don't like getting caught up in the politics of things. And for me, I feel like, there might be like something like everyone's talking about seed oils at the moment, of course. If I start rambling on about seed oils in my content, I feel like I'm fueling something that I don't necessarily want to be a part of. But that's obviously like a negative belief that I have. You can also shift that into a positive belief as well. You can be like, look, a lot of people are talking about this at the moment with, how to get in shape. You should actually be doing it this way. So now you're referencing trending to current times and then your content. So you provide a unique perspective. So that was number 4, which is trending. And then we have the 5th one, which is manufactured. This is where a lot of us spend our time, and we probably spend too much time here. This is where you're full on scripting out your content and planning things, and it's super manufactured. It's not a bad thing at all, but a lot of us spend too much time here because this is like the default that we go to for content creation. But talk more about your far past. Talk about your past. Talk about recent and current events in your life. Talk about what's trending out there and relate it back to how you are different to everyone else. And then fifth one is manufactured content. So this is where you can really start to get a good combination of all of these going. So now if you really think about it, this is how you're going to create connections with people. All of your expert-based content that you keep posting is only in the manufactured category. It's totally fine to do that, but if that's all you ever do, it gets a little bit boring. What happened to you 5 years ago when, you tore your bicep muscle and how that impacted your bodybuilding career? What happened 20 years ago when you developed a bad relationship with food and now you help people overcome that? Wow, talking about that is going to get so much more connection with your content as opposed to just like, oh yeah, I was once fat and now here's how to calculate your protein. Like, that's boring as hell. So I have a question for you. After going through those 5 core areas that we can talk about with your content, which of those areas do you feel like you need to talk about more? Which of those areas do you feel like you might need to be a little bit more vulnerable and share a little bit deeper things that you kind of keep down? Because generally those are the very things that you do need to be talking about online, because this is obviously how you then create a connection with people. If it's always just surface level expert-based content, again, people aren't going to be able to connect with you. And before you get all like, oh, but Josh, my life, it's not interesting, it's boring. Yeah, that's good. People connect with boring things. People want to envision, like, let's think about the Kardashians, right? Their TV show is probably the most boring fucking TV show in the world. It's them like gossiping, eating salads, and like bitching and moaning about clothes and just all sorts of boring stuff. But you know why it's so interesting and why all you motherfuckers out there are so hooked on it? Is because it's relatable. They're just sitting there eating a salad in the kitchen and it's just like normal stuff that happens in everyday life. But yet people are so hooked on it because it's what they can envision themselves doing as well. So even if you have a boring life, trust me, people connect with the most mundane things. I've posted before that I wear Crocs. And you would be surprised at the amount of messages that I get, especially on Instagram, being like, oh man, I wear Crocs too. Or like I post like the kind of food that I like eating. And again, it's so boring, right? It's just food, and it's not even like fancy food at dinner. It's literally just like the breakfast that I've cooked. And yet so many people will respond to that because they can also envision themselves eating that, or they might do similar things, which is a connection, right? Someone, like, you might post your morning coffee and it's like, damn, Josh also drinks a long black. That's my boy. And now you're creating more connections with people. So even if you do have a boring life, trust me, people will connect with the most mundane shit. And if you think you live a really, really fucking boring life, then you need to go do some more fun things. You need to get yourself out there and stop being boring. So at the end of the day, you do want to post expert-based content, but don't always just post expert-based content. Share insights into your life, share your own personal stories, your habits that you have, the values that you have, how your clients are getting results, how you do coaching, your experiences. Share all of this stuff online. Be the expert and be your real authentic self. Bring both of those together, and that's how you're going to stand out in the online coaching game, especially in 2023 and beyond. But that's it for this video, my friend. Make sure that you click like and subscribe and do all that jazz. Make sure you follow me on social media as well, and I look forward to seeing you inside of the next video.